I made an Instagram reel about internet safety that went viral. So I made a YouTube video about the Instagram video, and the YouTube video also went viral. It's safe to say that you guys notice just as much as I have how many people posting online neglect internet safety. And now I'm starting an internet safety series. This week's video is all about what goes into your digital footprint. There were two types of people in the comments of my internet safety YouTube video. There's people who want to have absolutely no online presence whatsoever. User 123, if you will. And those who are either trying or wanting to develop an online presence while still staying safe. Respect to both. I will say my content caters more to those who want to have an online presence while still staying safe, because that's what I have the most experience with. I'm a content creator. We wouldn't all be gathered here today without that. For this series, you guys had a strong interest in a video about digital footprints. It's actually a very broad and nuanced topic because it encompasses the things that you actively do online and the data that's passively collected from you. There's multiple videos I can make for this series that dives deeper into the topics that digital footprints represent on a higher level. And for that reason, digital footprints are a great way to kick off this series. Let's start with this. Is having a digital presence necessary? Crafting a positive digital presence can help you build a good reputation and open a lot of doors for you professionally and socially. Having no active online presence can be a red flag for some people and sometimes even for companies that are hiring. I read an article a few years ago and it said something along the lines of, you come off as more trustworthy with a positive digital presence than someone with no digital presence at all. I looked and I didn't think I could find this article. And that's a strong thing to say without any source to point to, but I did find an article published in 2017 by the Dayton Daily News. And that article says, a national survey conducted by Harris Poll on behalf of Career Builder found that more than 50% of employers are less likely to interview a candidate they can't find online. The majority of companies will dig through social profiles, but find it even more suspect if they see nothing at all. I will link the article in the description if you want to read the full thing. User 123, do not come for me. I did not write the article. But I will say what is much more common than that, and like companies not hiring employees because you don't have a digital presence, is employers rejecting applicants because of an inappropriate online presence. If you're not starting a business or you don't want to be a creator and you legitimately want to keep your online presence as discreet as possible, I think you should absolutely feel free to do so. Technology and online social platforms are a way of the world these days, and there are a lot of ways to use that to your benefit. Every amazing internship and job opportunity I've had, I got online, and often by connecting with people I had never met before on LinkedIn. Most of my friendship circle at this point I've met on Bumble BFF. One of my closest friends we met about 3 years ago. We went to the same university, but we met on Bumble BFF. And I also met my previous partner on a dating app. But all these platforms do is put you in front of more people than you would have ever had the opportunity to meet by your own devices, the ones that aren't digital. What comes down to you is how you use that opportunity and how safe you are going about it. Meeting strangers on the internet comes with its own set of safety guidelines, which I will definitely be making a video on for this series. Assuming you're being safe, if you haven't done the work to develop the skills to identify healthy people and build and maintain healthy relationships, then friendship and dating apps only give you more opportunities to entertain toxic and chaotic relationships. Not all digital footprints are made equal. I've scratched the surface on this. Just as building a positive digital presence can open many doors for you, having a negative digital presence can really harm your reputation and block you from future opportunities. What are some things that are bad? There's the classic like drug use, heavy drinking, heavily provocative content. But if you don't work in a corporate environment, maybe those extracurricular activities being posted online don't matter as much. I don't know. Sharing stories or oversharing information on social media that you should really just keep between you and your journal. I see a lot of TMI posts on TikTok, and I go to the comment section and everyone's like, you couldn't torture this information out of me. You see these two things here? They're yapping too much. You just gotta. A really well-known example, and I'm only using this example because it's so well-known by someone very well-known online, is Alex Earl making that video about how she went out one night in her birthday dress. Got too drunk, got sick, whatever, and puked on herself, puked on the dress. And instead of washing it, she hung it up amongst her clean clothes and left the puke-filled dress hanging in the closet for a year.
Ugh. Brother, ugh.
Could not torture that information out of me. I think maybe to even leave a puke dress reeking in a closet for a year, you have to be of a mindset where you think being that nasty is normal. But it isn't. Sharing too many unsavory stories about yourself, or even sharing too many stories that excessively highlight your misfortune, like, sometimes you just gotta ask yourself, what is the purpose here? Like, why am I sharing this? And then they're sharing personal information and posting things that can potentially create an unsafe situation for you. This is what my previous video on internet safety was highlighting. Reading all those comments under my Instagram video cautioning people against posting identifiable things about where you live and go routinely. If you haven't seen that video, what are you doing? I'll link it in the description. In that previous video on internet safety, there were a few comments from some of you guys who shared that you want to create content. You have ideas that you want to put out there, but you feel too nervous about compromising your safety, or you don't feel confident about how to keep yourself safe while putting out content. The whole purpose of me making that video was really to encourage people who make content to learn how to keep themselves safe while posting online. I have a lot of tips on how to protect yourself as a social media creator. Something that I think could be a great resource for people who are currently posting online or want to start posting online is if I created a comprehensive safe posting guide. I could also create a flowchart to help you quickly review and audit your content for safety. So before you upload a post, you would go through the flowchart and it would be something like, is this filmed somewhere you go routinely? Yes. And then choosing yes would take you to, can you tell where this was filmed? Or do you mention where you are? Or what days and times you go there? No. And then no would take you to the next thing to check for, right? Like a flow chart, like those magazine quizzes. And then whenever you get to the end of the flow chart, based on what your answers were from what was in your video, it'll come to, yes, this is safe to post, or reconsider posting. Let me know in the comments if you're interested in me creating this digital resource for you guys, the safe posting guide and the flow chart, and I'll get started on it ASAP. I already know my next video is going to be on how to post safely as a creator, internet safety tips for content creators. Another part of your digital footprint affected by your deliberate online activity is falling for scams. It doesn't help that for everything you are required to make an account. Phone number, email, not enough for serious harm to be done, but then you end up getting junk email and texts, and that's where someone with malicious intent has their opportunity with you through phishing with a PH. If you work in a corporate environment, you probably know a lot about phishing because of those trainings they make you do every year. And at a lot of companies, the security team will unannounced send fake phishing emails to your work email, and they're testing you to see if you can identify it as phishing and report the email. If you click the link in the fake phishing email, they will make you do more training. There are so many other scams online, like so many. With the rise and improvement of AI, scams are only becoming more sophisticated and more difficult to spot. I will definitely be making at least one video on internet scams for this series, but I'm thinking there's probably going to be more than one because there's many different kinds of online scams. And it's really not enough to just be like, well, I don't have a digital presence and I don't have to worry about anything. Because your behavior and how you treat people in real life can have consequences to your digital persona. This one's for Karen. If you are just out in the world, at the grocery store, at the park, walking your dog, whatever, and you decide to profile someone, harass someone, or just overall be a crappy person, someone just might record the encounter and upload it online. When you have millions of people outraged at you, I don't care if you never made a social media account in your life. The people of the internet will find out what your full name is and where you work. And your job will probably decide that they cannot be tied to that bigotry, and they will let you go. But now, when anyone looks up your name, including future employers, they will see this video of you calling the police on a black girl for selling water, or calling the police on a black man bird watching in Central Park. I probably won't make a video on this unless you really want me to. Most of us will not have to worry about this. Being a kind person who minds their own business is not that hard. Most of us got that down. But I can make a video for this series on manners and social etiquette online, specifically on how social media changes what people think is acceptable to say and comment to others. A lot of people hide behind a user123 with no real profile, and so they think it's okay to comment rude and hateful things. Lastly, there's your passive digital footprint. This is the data that companies are gathering on you from their websites, and they use that information to target more effective ways to sell things to you, and often sell that data and information to third parties. There are a lot of third-party data sites like White Pages, LexisNexis, honestly a ton of them. Sometimes if you Google someone's name, you'll see one or more entries coming from these third-party sites with previous addresses and other information can opt out of these and request to have your information removed if they have anything up. I actually joined a platform this year called Aura, not sponsored by them at all, but they do like identity theft protection, and one of their many features is that it'll opt out and remove you from all of the third-party data sites. And I'm glad it did it for me because there are hundreds of those sites that it scanned through. I'll definitely make a video for this series talking about how to manage your passive digital footprint and monitor your information and data more closely. Here's like a rough outline of the kinds of videos that you can expect from the internet safety series going forward. Internet safety for creators, family vloggers and kids posting online, staying safe while meeting strangers online scams, internet social etiquette, and monitoring your data. Again, let me know in the comments your thoughts on me creating digital resources like a safe posting guide or a flowchart for reviewing your own content. Also, if there's anything else that you want to see from this series or anything that you think I missed, let me know as well. See you next time.